2025, it's come to an end, and it's been a huge year. It's been a huge year here at Upland, and we have a ton of momentum. This has been literally Upland's biggest year. More updates, more new features, more things have dropped this year than any other year prior to 2025. That's what I mean by any other year. Prior, right? I gotta clarify with prior. And so this is your 2025 recap. I thought we'd go over it and just take a 10,000 look view and get hyped, get excited for 2026. This is not hype. This is proof of what has been happening and what has been done. I mean, look at this announcement right here. Look at the image. These are Uppies. Last year, this time, it wasn't even a thought in the Upland community. Now Uppies are the cultural core, the cultural lens through which we view all things Upland. It's huge. The core of Upland is property development, its ownership, and its trading. These are the core loops. This is Upland's identity, and it's unmistakable. We are a real world map city builder that is permanent. That's forever. It's your forever game. What is a forever game? It's a game that you can put down tomorrow and pick up 6 months from now, and all your assets, they're still yours. Nothing has reset. Your neighborhood's not reset. Your properties have not reset. Your builds have not reset. In fact, some of your builds may have completed by then. Nothing resets. Other games, every season it resets, and you start from scratch. Other games, every year, something resets, and then you start from scratch. You complete something, and then it resets. Not in Upland. Your progress matters, your assets matters, and they're always yours. Okay, let's go over everything in Upland because it really sets up 2026 huge. If you see what's coming in 2026, just in January, just saying, you're going to be very excited, and you're going to be excited here over the coming weeks. But let's recap 2025. If you want to come read the full thing, please do. We've linked to all the announcements here. I'm just going to go over a few things in each categories. So we split this year up into a few different categories. First one is the numbers. We shared some numbers here. Total new properties minted were 141,000. That's huge. The big one that I want to see, total Sparklet staked, 5 billion Sparklet. Billion with a B staked in 2025. That is huge. Sparklet doesn't have utility. 5 billion people beg, or 5 billion Sparklet stakes begs to argue with that. No one's saying that though. No one's saying that. Only yahoos who don't know about Upland maybe saying, I don't even know why I said that. Let's continue on. Total UPX spent in 2025 was 15 billion. UPX spent. Oh man, the B's and the M's. Going from $1 million to $1 billion, that's a big number jump there. A really cool one is total secondary market property sales was 5 billion. Huge. That's 5 billion UPX flowed on the secondary market between players. UPX sales in Meta Ventures was 800 million UPX through Meta Ventures. Absolutely huge. Go take a look at these numbers there. One big thing here that we've covered before, and I've talked about before, we hit 190 total announcements in 2025, and of those 190 announcements, 38 of them were developer updates. Now, this represents a huge shift in how we used to communicate with you guys. So we used to take a very traditional single-player gaming type of roadmap system, where every quarter, we would have a roadmap. We would share, hey, here's our outlook for the next quarter. We wouldn't then share anything until that next quarter came, and then we'd have another roadmap where we go over some of the things that we hit, some of the things that we didn't hit, and then we'd have a new one. That wasn't working for us, so we decided to switch to more of a live service game roadmap where we have regular developer updates. So we went from 4 a year to 38. That's right, 38. What does that mean? It means that we are sharing with you what we're building as we're building it. We talk about it with you as we're building it. Now, some people may say, well, why don't you just share it with us after it comes out and drops? Well, then you're just sitting in the dark for a while. That doesn't make any sense. So as we're building it, we're sharing with you. That's greater transparency. It enables us to be more responsive. It enables us to take feedback on things right away as we're developing them in the moment. You asked for more communication. You got it this year. 190 total announcements in 2025, and 38 of those were developer updates. By the way, that's 38 used to only be 4. So we went from 4 to 38. I think it's a much better way. You can expect more of that in 2026. It's not going to end. It's only going to go forward. Look at the cities that dropped, the international cities that dropped. Sydney, Hong Kong, Rome, Madrid, Singapore. These are the big cities. We did not have a big city opening. Our last big city opening was Miami, and that was last year in the US. We went all international this year. Most regions of the world now are represented here with this. Rome was my favorite of the year, I'd have to say. There's just something about Rome, right? Walking through the wheat with your hands and the gladiator music playing. That's That's how I picture Rome. That's how I want it. So there's all the cities. Now let's get into the updates. Our first category here is core gameplay evolution. You can see obviously the biggest one here is that residence score and influence scores have dropped. Along with that, we have the census. Earlier in the year, you can see we did have the builder score. Now the builder score was introduced, I think back in like February of 2025. And the builder's score was kind of a stepping stone for what, and got implemented inside the influence score, the residence score, and the census there. So you can see how initial things that drop become the stepping stone to what become later more sophisticated mechanics, and that's what happened here with the residence score and influence score. You can see a ton of stuff. Here's some big highlights too. Multi-structure properties, the ability to build multiple structures on your properties dropped this year. That didn't exist before. Service structures now play a key role. Service structures did not exist before. You've got custom service structures everywhere. We did announce the concept of the construction hub. You're going to hear more about that here in 2026, so that's very, very exciting as well. Service structures are going to be a big part of that construction hub. It's going to be a whole new economy. Players able to, give requests. Hey, you've got the blueprints. Come and build on my property. I need this service structure. So that was huge as well. Map asset bundling. What is that? Well, you used to not be able to sell your properties with map assets on them. Now you can. That dropped this year. And absolutely huge. Fully decorated properties can now be sold as a bundle to someone. Hey, check out my property. I've decorated it up for you. It's yours. You want it? You want it? There's even cars on there. You want that? Here you go. And finally, we've got phase 1 of life and seed generation. Again, these are core mechanics. Core gameplay evolution, rather. Seeds are here. I think the seed mechanic is really cool. Dynamic pricing, being able to spend Sparklet. That was something that didn't exist before this year. And it's just phase 1. So next phase in 2026, guess what? Comes the ability to plant those seeds and grow those seeds and care for those seeds. So very, very cool. A big one, a part of that obviously is that Sparklet spend. That's going to be used elsewhere, for instance, in Uppie Merge. That is going to be coming in 2026 as well. Now, Sparklet Wars. This was introduced early in 2025. This was our first real-time on-game map or on-map gameplay where you could look down at the map, you could see a giant robot, and it would react to what was happening in the game, and there was real-time events that were happening. Very, very cool. This will return in 2026 with the new mechanics of, for instance, Residence has dropped. Residence is something that didn't exist before. So figuring out how to take Sparklet Wars, evolve it, make it make sense going forward is going to happen in 2026, and it's a big deal. But Sparklet Wars was a new gameplay mechanic, live real-time on-map reactions happening. The robot, the shield would come up when you had to hit it, then you'd hit it, the shield would go down, and then finally when it was destroyed, you saw it tipped over. Drones would crash into the map. That's something that didn't exist before 2025. It is now there. What can we do with that mechanic? Where can we go in 2026? It's going to be very, very exciting. So that is core gameplay evolution there. Just that alone. If that alone is all that happened in 2025, it would be one of the biggest years ever. For multi-structure properties, that's a big deal. You take that for granted. It's amazing how quickly we take something for granted. Like, oh yeah, this just always existed. No, it didn't. It came this year. Map asset bundling, service structures, etc., etc. Now we have system and platform upgrades. These are things that are more behind the scenes. So in 2025, we moved to our own chain, the Upland app chain. This was a big deal. This happened, I think, in March, April-ish, around there. We have improved asset search accuracy, where now reserved map assets don't show up in that search feature. That was happening before, and you'd think, oh yeah, dude, this has the cheapest map assets, and you'd go and it would just be a reserved one that everyone was reserving for the lowest price you could, just so that they could show up at the top of that search asset. So that has been that is better search accuracy there. We also did bring the new search asset functionality that is in your wallet now. There's a search bar across all your tabs. You can also go to the global search, and click My Assets, and then it will just search your assets there as well. That was a huge deal. That dropped in 2025. We do have two new tabs, or a new tab rather, in Upland that didn't exist. That's the news tab. If you remember before, there was no news tab. You'd have to go out to the Upland website in order to see all the news, all things happening in Upland. Now there's a news tab. You go up, you can click on it, you can see every pop-up that has dropped in Upland and what it was about. It will link out to the page, but everything's there in a condensed space. Very, very helpful. That's actually one of my favorite features. We also cleaned up old messages that improved load times. So all your old messages now, they after some time, they're removed from the message center. Makes it much, much faster. Sends. What did we call this? This is a huge platform upgrade. Sends. You no longer need to collect sends. You might think, oh, that's always been a thing, especially if you're new in the last few months. No, you used to have to collect sends. Well, guess what? In 2025, the send system got a complete overhaul. You can see in preparation for things like the Uppie Discovery minigame that will be coming in later in 2026. It sets things up for service structure. It's really setting things up here. Sends gone, huge Again, you can already see how this was a huge year for Upland just in what we've covered so far. Remote meta venture purchases. You used to have to travel. Take your Block Explorer, and there's a really cool meta venture in New York, but I'm in LA. I've got to take my Block Explorer and travel on a plane to New York in order to pick up and purchase from that meta venture. Well, guess what? As long as you've got a property in a city now, you don't have to do that anymore. This was a huge quality of life update. Remote meta venture purchases, huge. You can see, biggest year ever. It's not hype. Look at all these changes, especially when you put them one by one. I wasn't gonna go through these one by one, but going through them one by one, it's impressive, guys. We are on a roll. The train is leaving the station. Get on board or get left behind. That's it. Upland is moving forward. We've got a lot of momentum, and it's only going to continue in 2026. Remote meta venture purchases was absolutely huge. Simple travel. We've streamlined simple travel. You used to have to know your route. Like, okay, especially on the East Coast, you could get confused with that hub. It's confusing. Okay, I'm in LA. I need to go to Queens. How do I get there? Well, guess what? Now it maps it out for you. Hit one button and it covers all your connecting flights, your bus stops, everything to get you to the city that you need to go to. Simplified travel launched in 2025. Absolutely huge. Treasure hunting. We did bring treasure hunting back to the web this year. That was big. We also added some wobbling arrows. We improved the security around there so that we could bring it back to the web. That was big. We do have some quick menu improvements. We dropped what is in the quick menu now? You've got the census. A button to the census is in there, and a button to the structures, the structure document that shows off everything there. So that was in there. We did drop the first historic cars. Historic cars, everybody, are cars that players, if you own the historic stock car, you will be able to manufacture replicas of that, competition versions of it, and then sell those yourself. The stock cars are here, and I believe in the next few days, those manufacturing will begin. So we're kicking off 2026. Those players who have those already will be able to begin manufacturing those historic cars again. First time we dropped that here in 2025 was getting those historic cars out to players. Now we did do something different with city evolution and property unlocks, and I think this is a huge quality of life convenience, a quality of life upgrade. We used to not be able to bundle properties together and then deliver them to you. You'd always have to go mint them yourself. That was something, a sticking point. And for new players jumping into the game, any other game, you could jump into the store and buy whatever you need in the store there. You didn't have to travel and figure it out and mint stuff. For new players, being able to buy evolution packs from either old cities that may have opened up and there's some locked properties that we're unlocking there, or new cities, or expanding in neighborhoods regularly here in the store is huge. You can do it for both UPIX and for USD. City evolution and property unlocks, absolutely huge. Remember, we locked at the end of 2024, we locked huge amount of properties in all these cities to help stabilize the market for 1 year. Those have now become unlocked, and city evolution is the way that those are being released. Very, very small amounts, very stable tick, giving players the opportunity where they want to easily and conveniently pick up those where they go. There are some UGC workflow improvements. By the way, how many did we say in the numbers? How many map assets, for instance, dropped? I don't know that we did. Oh yeah, total player created assets. 300,000. 355,456 total map assets and player assets were created this year in 2025. You can see how that system gets clogged so quickly and how we're constantly upgrading it. We did make some background updates to that to help improve that, to make things faster, and those will continue to improve also going forward in 2026. And finally, on the platform level, racing updates. If you remember, we didn't have obstacle boxes on the carts. That made it way more fun. They randomly generate 4 kart races on the cart. There's an rear view mirror that was added this year. hotkeys on the keyboard for boost and brake. And then you get faster replays there for both racing and karts. So big racing upgrades happened this year as well. What was this category? This was a big category, system and platform upgrades. Absolutely huge. You could just combine these two categories, core gameplay and system and platform. If those were the only two things that dropped this year, you could see that would make it the biggest year we've ever had. I mean, if just say one update a month happened, this is one big update a month. That is happening if you were to break it down that way. How many updates are these so far? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. I won't even count workflow improvements because that's behind the scenes. 20, 21 if you count UGC. Just right there in two categories. 21 tangible system level updates that you can see, you can utilize, and you can take advantage of in the game. That's huge. That is absolutely huge. So you can see how it's one of our biggest years ever. And we're not done. Let's go to world building and customization. Transportation score. Vehicles now have utility. Some of you may not know that. Your vehicles have utility beyond racing. If your vehicle is parked in your neighborhood, you get a transportation score that helps attract that. Now, go read about this. So the cool thing is on each of these, you can actually click on it. So you can click, there you go. And then it takes us to transportation score, and we'll go back to the original announcement. So you can come and check these out for yourself. If you didn't know about them, click on these and go check them out for yourself. Transportation scores bring utility to vehicles. Now they are based on cargo. They're based on, the more cargo space you have, for instance, the higher your transportation score. This set that dropped, that is live in the game, that dropped in 2025. We also brought specialized service vehicles. New class of vehicles. These vehicles help provide additional boosts to things like service structures. These are your fire trucks, your ambulances, your police vans, your police vehicles, as well as construction vehicles, which will speed up construction time. Stay tuned, because early in 2026, there's going to be more news on this, so stay tuned for that. But these vehicles were introduced in 2025. We do have a new map look. Now, it's not live yet, but it should be live before the year end here. And there's just a few days left in the year, so look out for that new map. Again, you can click to check it out. We've got roads now. The colors just look better. It pops more. And then later on, weather systems will be coming as well to Upland, so that's going to be really, really fun. And then finally, we dropped Sparklet Access. There's now permanent Sparklet, small amounts, inside the Upland store. These are meant for especially new players as they jump in. They want to build their first structure. You easily and permanently have access to that. We have events and community milestones. Genesis Week is a big one. This was probably my favorite thing of the year. Well, no, Uppies is my favorite thing of the year. But Genesis Week was a close second. We went all digital this year, and I think it was one of our best Genesis Weeks to date. The more people participated than ever before. I think it was focused. I think it was fun. I think there was a lot of rewards there. It was awesome. It was a global community celebrating Genesis all week long in 2025. That was really cool. Another one of my favorite ones, this one's from the community. Multiple community meetups hosted by community members, put together. Fantastic. I think they did a better job than we could have done if Upland was to officially do those. So we look forward to those happening and to supporting the community as more of these become more regular over time, most definitely. And last on the community side, championship racing. So we used to solely host and run the championship racing. This is a great we saw this as a great opportunity to partner with the community, and this is our first official Upland event that is hosted and ran by the community, by the guys at the Ultimate Racing League there. Absolutely huge, and has been big. I mean, 6 million in UpX prizes in season 1. The biggest prize pool of the year. This really sets the stage for more events going forward that are community run, but are still carry that official Upland tag there. Next, we have culture and identity. And you might think, culture and identity, what is this? Well, in 2025, a lot of things happened with culture and identity. Namely, this giant culture shift of Uppies. Now, Uppies are not live yet in Upland. There is the resident score. That resident score represents Uppies, but you are going to be able to collect Uppies here in the future, in 2026, actually. But we introduced Uppies and the concept of Uppies. And in all of our announcements, there's Uppies. On our social media, there's Uppies. Uppies mark this huge cultural shift, and it was introduced in 2025. Uppies are the lens now, the cultural lens through which everything in Upland is viewed. We didn't have that before. we were just generic. A generic game, properties, cool. There was no real culture pool, no real storytelling there. Uppies brings that, and you can see, now it's the norm. Uppies are the norm. The vernacular is the norm. It's a giant cultural shift that happened in 2025. Mayors, we did held our first mayor election. This is community governance. More will come here in 2026. We have that first step. We're developing those features. What will mayors be able to do? What effect will they have in neighborhoods? This is just the beta, so congratulations to all of our mayors that got that. And stay tuned, because more is coming on that in 2026. X-Stacks dropped earlier last year, and this was an experiment for us. This was the first of its kind social media game that was tied directly to Sparklet. It was the first of its kind, first native game on X, and it gave us some valuable insight to both how the economics of Sparklet works and also social mechanics within a game economy, how that would work. So stay tuned. There may be more news on that in the future as well. And last but not least, but that did drop in 2025. And last but not least, on the cultural side, so did Lore Legits. Now, Lore Legits were our experiment with storytelling and lore. We're talking about culture, the effect that Uppies have had. We learned a ton. There's some tech and some mechanics there that we learned that will be used in the upcoming Uppies system, where we're tying storytelling, narrative, culture together with gameplay in Upland. So Lore Legits dropped in 2025, and again, a big deal because we learned a lot from Lore Legits, and what we learned is being implemented directly into Uppies that you'll learn more about here in 2026. Again, transformational year for Upland. The train is leaving the station, everybody. If you're not on board, you're getting left behind, because we are moving forward. We're moving forward at a fast rate. You can see how focused Upland has been, and how amazing of a year it's been. It's not hype to say it was our biggest year. It easily was our biggest year. You can see going through that. Go read this entire announcement. If there's anything that you did not see or that you may have missed throughout the year, click on it. Read the full announcement. It's linked in here. Finally, we do want to just say thank you to the community. Without you guys, none of this would be possible. You guys really help. You guys are creative, the creative center. You guys are why Upland exists. While a lot of other games and apps over the last couple years no longer exist, Upland does. Upland is still here, and Upland has had one of its best years, one of its most iconic years yet, one of our biggest, most transformational years yet, and it's all thanks to you guys. So huge thank you to the community. And with that, I want to say Happy New Year. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being a part of Upland. Thank you for all you do. Happy New Year. Enjoy the celebrations. And here's to amazing 2026. If this year set the tone, this is the bar, we will pass it in 2026. We really are just getting started here. What an amazing year. Here's the 2026. Have a great New Year. Be safe. Have fun. And we'll see you guys in Upland. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.